right, we are back with Ryan Dodson from Liberty Tax Services, and he's answering your child tax credit questions. This person says, I'm not sure if I got all of the checks because I got them and mailed paper checks. When I get a statement from the government, like you talked about, that's going to tell me everything that I got, will it include only the checks that I cashed or everything that the IRS issued?
Odds are it's going to include everything that you were issued. They're going to assume that you may actually have that check and you may be sitting on it, even though you never received it. So my suggestion would be when you file your tax return, report what is on that letter. And if you are missing anything in the interim, then notify the IRS and say, hey, look, I never received this check. I never cashed this check.
Okay, so here's one way, because someone was asking, who do I contact if I haven't gotten my check? Let's show you this. This is how you can track your advanced child tax credit payments. You go to the IRS, and there actually is a place for you to be able to track your child tax credit update. Here's something else you can do. You can create an account with the IRS, and when you create an account with the IRS, that's going to show you all the things that the IRS sends you or has business dealings with you. That's your tax refund, that's the stimulus money, that's the child tax credit. So if you create that IRS account, you'll be able to see all of your things. All right, so this person is asking this question. Do Social Security recipients with kids still qualify for the remainder of the child tax credit?
Yes, they do. So yes, even if you're not filing a tax return because you are on Social Security, if you have children who do qualify, file a tax return. Get that refundable child tax credit.
And there is a way for people who are non-filers to file online for free right there on the IRS site.
Yes, absolutely. There's a free file alliance. You can go online, you can file a return absolutely for free.
Okay. This person says, I moved to North Carolina from New York. I filed my taxes in 2018, 2019, and I had my son as dependent. I never received any child tax credit. Can I claim my son this year?
Absolutely. You can still, if he's a qualifying child for it, you can absolutely claim him on your tax return. You will get the full amount of the additional child tax credit when you file your tax return. So instead of receiving it in monthly payments, that's okay. Your refund is just going to be larger than it normally would when you file your tax return.
All right, this next question is, when can I expect to see my payment? And I guess that all depends on how they're getting their payment.
Yeah, if you're doing direct deposit, I would imagine it's going to show up here rather shortly. Depends upon how quickly your bank processes direct deposits. And if it's mailed, well, with the mail, we are always reliant upon the U.S. Postal Service. So however long that takes, that could be up to a week.
All right, and maybe I should have asked it this way. The person who texted said, who do I contact if I haven't gotten my check? And contacting the IRS is just really not an option at this point, is it?
It's very difficult to get through to the IRS nowadays. They've been very short-staffed since the coronavirus pandemic has hit, and wait times are just extremely long. So sometimes it's just better to go off to actually do mailed correspondence, knowing and understanding it's going to take weeks upon weeks.
All right, this person says, my child was born in October of this year. Will I receive the child tax credit in full when I file my tax return?
Yes, you absolutely will receive your child tax credit in full. You can actually have a child that will be born on December the 31st. And as soon as you have that Social Security number and you file it on your tax return with that number, you'll get the full child tax credit for the entire year.
All right, this person said, my child turned 18 this year. I received a couple of checks, but then they stopped. Is that because she turned 18, or is that a flaw on the side of the IRS?
Both. Yes, when a child turns 18 and they're not eligible for the child tax credit, technically you shouldn't have received those payments beforehand. So yeah, so you've received a couple payments. Depending upon your income, depends upon whether or not you may possibly have to pay that back.
Okay, and we want to make it clear that if your child turns 18 at any point in this year, even if it's December the 31st, you don't get these payments. You can't claim your child on your taxes for this next year because the child was over the age of 18 at some point in the year. Ryan, thank you so much for joining us. We so appreciate it, clearing up and clarifying lots of these questions. If you would like to see any of the answers to these questions, again, the information that we posted, all you have to do is go to the Who Wants to Know section.